few moments where I feel like God has directly rocked my world in the best of ways. And so this whole concept is to be the bridge, to take this life of, a dating show and this life now in for purpose business, and the underlying, story through it is that, Jesus is king and that he's loved me through it all, and try to be the bridge to bring it all together.
All right, everyone. Season 4. Welcome back. What have we got? Season 4, episode 1, Danny?
Man, still moving. Love kicking off 26.
Who'd have thunk it when they said just press record, that it would still keep going? 2026 is upon us. We're now in February. We're pumped about what's coming up. This season is going to be epic. We already have our first guest you're about to listen to now. It's Ben Higgins, formerly of The Bachelor, is now doing some amazing things in the world, whether it's to golf himself, whether it's to coffee, work, whatever it is. He's doing some really great things. I think everyone's going to enjoy the conversation. Would you agree?
Totally agree, man. Great story. Love how he's living things out. Entrepreneur. Obviously, people know him from The Bachelor. A lot of great golf stories. So I think you guys are going to like this one.
Yeah, and he does, a little spoiler alert, he does mention this Big Cedar Lodge trip, and I'm like, I need to figure out how to get on this trip. So Ben,
might have to find our way on the list.
If you just need somebody to help guys carry bags, I just want to go hang out. But anyways, guys, I hope you listen here to, like I said, episode 1 in our 4th season. Enjoy what you're about to hear, and really dig in to what we have coming up this season of the Restoration Club podcast. All right, we're back. Restoration Club is live in 2026. We are ready. A lot of things been going on in the world lately, but here we are back in the clubhouse. Danny, how we doing? Everything good out there?
Doing all right, man. I know we're still digging out with this weather, but we're doing okay.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of snow, not to put us in a pointed time of space, but if you're ever in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you get 11 inches of snow, it kind of changes how the game is played out. But today we have a friend of ours that's joining us today. We're pretty excited about it. We have Ben Higgins with us. Ben has a fascinating story. Many of you have seen his face or heard his story a little bit from being on The Bachelor. As a recovered Bachelor addict. Yes, I've broken the addiction. I kind of knew Ben's story a little bit, just what they give you on TV. So I actually don't know anything about anything really, but I'm appreciative of Ben joining us. So everybody welcome Ben to the clubhouse. Ben, tell us, what are we up to these days, or give us a little bit of who you are.
Yeah, I would actually say you probably know a lot about me. It's very rare, I think, for somebody to let 3 months of their life be put on television, especially at like 26 years old. That honestly today kind of scares me that I did that.
The frontal lobe had fully developed at that point.
Yeah. So I was The Bachelor, from Indiana. I live in Denver now, just outside of Denver in Golden, Colorado. I am now married to somebody that has never watched the show. Which is a really good thing for me. And then I have a little baby girl who is turning 1.
Nice.
Got a great dog who hates everybody but his family, and he loves his family so much, and that's all that matters. Today what I'm up to, I still work for iHeartRadio, and so I still host a few shows for them. In fact, as we speak, we're launching the faith division at iHeartRadio that I get to be a part of. That's happening now, and I'm really pumped about that. Awesome. I've hosted a pop culture show for them for 10 years, and I think the reason I have a job, this is very funny to me, actually. I've had a job with them for 10 years because I know nothing about pop culture. So I'm like the out of touch dad since 26 years old. Just learning as I go, making ridiculous comments about who's dating who and why they're dating who, and learning about why they're doing it along the way. And that's kept me having a job. So the less I know, the better I am at hosting that show. But it's been fun to see that transition now into this faith division that is just launching for the very first time. And I'm really excited about that. I also run a coffee company called Generous Coffee. Nice. If you're a golfer out there, and you want to buy products that give back to the kingdom, then Generous Coffee is the way to go. It is, we donate 100% of our profits to nonprofits. So I found some people to invest in the business who said, I'll never make money on this. And I understand that, but I believe that for-profit business can be used for good. So that's what I spend a lot of my time doing when I'm not, playing golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben, tell me more a little bit about Generous. Big coffee addicts over here. We're big caffeine people.
Ryan can speak for both of us.
Yeah, I'm a former coffee roaster myself, so I love it and really passionate about it. But with Generous, is it a national model where you guys ship? How does it work in terms of getting Generous coffee?
Yeah, I would love to ship worldwide, especially to Canada, but shipping prices have never been something we've been able to figure out.
Yeah.
Shipping costs are incredibly expensive, especially for a product like coffee that, is almost going to double your price point. But so we ship all across the U.S. So the idea of it's actually a huge part of my story. When I was in middle school, my parents took me to Central America with them, and it rocked my world in a way that probably wasn't good. It rocked my world with this guilt and the shame and this, how can people be living like this? And I'm back home, going to my country club. And it didn't compute with me until a buddy of mine encouraged me to, instead of just sulking in this and feeling all this pain and guilt, maybe to try to do something about it or to work to find solutions. And so we came up with this model for this organization called Humanity and Hope United, where we go into communities that are lacking clean water, lacking infrastructure, education, jobs, leadership. And we'd say, what do you need? What do you want? And how can we help? And that's how the strategy was built. And so instead of going in and just saying, this is what we're going to do, this is how you get better, we listened to them, and it changed everything for me. It gave me this renewed passion and purpose and focus. And so, it changed the way I saw how we can do quote unquote missions. But fundraising's hard.
Yeah.
And we were in our early 20s when this organization started, and none of our friends had any money. And so we were having a hard time raising money. And I went on The Bachelor, came off of The Bachelor, and was kind of handed this platform. And the question that another friend of mine told me was, okay, what if this is never meant to be about you? What if this is always meant to be about something bigger than you? That was posed to me, and I said, okay, what does that mean? What have I loved before? What has God done in my life before that now with a platform enhances the opportunities? And so with some good guidance and some good people around me, we came up with the idea that we could start a for-profit business that I could run. And then we would donate 100% of our profits to these nonprofits doing great work around the world. And that hopefully I would do it for the rest of my life. And it's specialty grade coffee.
Yeah.
So we're not the quality is as good as, scientifically, it's as good as you can get.
It's awesome.
Love it. Might need a couple Generous bags coming to Charlotte, North Carolina here shortly.
Please do.
Jump on it. That's awesome. And then, like you said, you have a nonprofit model where you give back the profits, correct? So how does that is that fund those mission opportunities you're talking about, giving those things in there?
Yeah, so we're a for-profit business, but instead of any of the owners taking distributions, we donate 100% of that to the organizations each quarter. And so we do have a paid staff. We pay people to roast, we pay people to package. So it's our operational profits, which is about 12 to 15% of what you would see listed on our website. It never has dropped below 10%. And it usually stays at 12 to 15 based on the quarter that we have of our operational profits that we can give to these organizations. And there's multiple that we give to, but they're all human focused. So they have to be human focused. They have to be sustainable in nature. They have to prove that they're effective and efficient. And we have some amazing partnerships with some great faith-based organizations like Convoy of Hope. I don't know if you're familiar with Convoy of Hope. Big golf fans over there. They raise a ton of money playing golf every year. Great friends of ours. They're an incredible organization. Humanity and Hope is obviously still one of those, and it kind of spreads out then from there to organizations that just are doing great work.
That's awesome. How
Love
cool
it.
is it that that was an image in your, like a thing brought to you at a young age, and it's still now living its way out all these years later?
Oh,
That's powerful.
yeah, it's awesome. I mean, and I'd love to take credit for that, but I've had good friends that have kind of like surrounded me over the years, and when I've needed it and asked for help or asked for guidance or maybe lost track without noticing it,
Yeah.
who've kind of like pulled me back in, and that was one of those moments where they said, "Hey, this year, goodness, I was famous for a period of time because I went on a dating show. That's not really even fits me, and I don't really have a tangible skill set to ride off of that." And so the question I was asking is, what do I do with this? And they were just wise enough and loving enough to say, "Hey, what if uh, you bring it back to some things that you've always loved? And what if this next chapter of your life looks like using this show that I've always found as a huge gift? Honestly, it's opened up some incredible opportunities. Um, I mean, goodness, I get to speak at schools and churches and conferences now
Yeah.
because of this dating show. Like that's ridiculous, but it's awesome, and I love it. And so it's using that to like maybe try to do some things I really care about, and that's this next chapter.
That's awesome. Ben, you talked about where you were from. I have to get it in there. I've seen you waving the IU flag loud and proud. How does it feel to be a national champ?
Natty.
My flag's right there.
I believe it.
It really doesn't feel like anything, and I don't mean that to like dismiss your question. I don't know how to process it, and I talked to a bunch of IU fans. Like, we're like, what happened? What would be like? What is this that's going on? It's hard to catch up with. It's hard to make sense of. I mean, it's an incredible job, and I've really loved the story. But now it's this: what happened in this culture shift at the university and on the football team that made them winners? How did they come in? And I mean, there are people there that convinced these kids that, hey, you can do this, and they did it, and they did it with like some swagger. They did it. They dominated at times. But it's making sense of it right now. But it's fun. It's been a long time since I felt a loss at IU football, and so that's a pretty good
crazy.
feeling.
As
Ryan
a Michigan
knows-
fan, I hate it. But
was
I
gonna say,
resonate
Ryan-
with that.
Ryan knows exactly why I'm asking, because I went to James Madison University. So I feel like I got to take a little credit there somewhere if I can.
Yes. So many of our players. I mean, I think we had 13 starters last year, 8 starters this year from James Madison. I mean, James Madison, in a sense, won the national championship.
Hey,
Congratulations.
man, you said it, not me. You said it.
We're not giving into that this time. But it's amazing, but it is about culture, right? Coach Signetti comes in and sees immediately what facilities look like and said, no, we're not going to stand for this. And I think it's very important as leaders when you identify where the weaknesses are, and it's not always just from talent. Weaknesses are often just found in culture. Weaknesses are found in values. Those types of things really matter. And I'm sure there's a ton of sermons we could all throw around about this, but I've been very inspired by Indiana football, not just seeing a slow motion run of Fernando Mendoza with Friday Night Lights music behind it and I'm getting goosebumps, but like the buy-in that they all have, that, a guy who was playing FCS football dominated against the best players, never even had a chance at that scholarship previously, comes over and just becomes an absolute killer. All of them. Like, it was amazing to see those JMU guys, but even taking Fernando from Cal and all those different things, it's
all the
powerful.
Pieces.
It's a powerful look of values. It's good.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a motion picture at some point.
Yeah.
It
exactly.
will be.
So now, go ahead, Danny.
I was just going to say, Ben, move us into obviously a foundational part of who we are. How did golf come into the picture for you?
It's been this thing. My parents actually, I think, have a really cool story with it. They got married, and neither of them had played. It was something they found enjoyment in doing together. And they're both athletic. And so, they were in their 20s and they were no longer going to pick up games or doing that, but they loved to walk the golf course. And so they picked up the clubs and started playing and self-taught themselves. And then my grandfather played. all the time. He was tall and lanky, and he ended up passing away from Parkinson's disease years ago. But grew up playing with him and playing with my parents. It was something that we would do just for fun and something that would be a great reason to get outside. That's how it started. And then athletic, I started playing basketball and football and those sports, and golf took a back seat for a few years until I blew my knee out in a football game. My second ever start just tore up my knee. And I was never going to be the athlete that I was before after doing that. And I had this one of the things I still appreciate about today with golf, and one of the things I'm working on in my own personal life, we can dive into that if you want, but is this competitiveness. I needed an outlet. I needed to be able to at least look a buddy in the eyes and be like, I'm going to beat you today. I want to beat you today. Or it was, I want to shoot my lows today. This is a course that's set up for me. I need to hit the ball well. And if I do, there's going to be there's just like this, it's a healthy like competition in my body that needs to be released somehow. And after the knee injury, I couldn't find it in anything. And so I joined the golf team. It had been probably 5 years since I had picked up the clubs, and I joined the golf team, and I wasn't very good. I hadn't played in a while, and I was just trying to figure the game out again. But it gave me a lot of camaraderie. Some of my buddies were already on the team. And I never really put the clubs down from that point forward, mostly because I was not competing in any other things. I needed something. And then it was just a great way for my friends and I to be able to hang out, and then my parents and I to be able to hang out. And that's proven to be a really good choice. I just got back from the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions. It's a LPGA event that celebrities get to play in our own field, and the LPGA plays in theirs, but we play alongside of each other. So every day you get 1 to 2 LPGA pros playing in the same group as you, which is incredible to watch. Let me tell you, it's spectacular. And I've played in this for many years, and there's a few celebrity tournaments around the country that I play in. My dad has always been my caddy, and my mom walks alongside of us. And it's just the most spectacular, like, bonding experience. It's memories that we'll have forever. It's memories that he tells his buddies about, that I tell my buddies about. And it's just been a lot of fun. It's been a game that's given me so much.
Ben, how is that feeling now? You talk about the opportunities maybe that Bachelor lent to you in terms of things you've been able to do. How is it now to look at maybe being a part of a celebrity circuit to even play the game and go to these places and be able to enjoy it that way?
Yeah, I have an interview that somebody sent me the other day. I mean, goodness, this had to be like 4 months. This is when I should have been in my prime, chasing relevancy and trying to get doing all these things. And then there was an interview with some outlet, and they're like, what do you want from all of this? I was like, I want to play in celebrity golf tournaments. I can't believe it. I mean, this week alone, you're in the locker rooms next to the Emmitt Smiths, and I'm a big Cubs fan. So John Lester, and like Chandler Parsons. I mean, this Ray Allen, like all these people. And you're just like, how did I get here? This is hilarious. Like, one of these things does not belong. And I'm glad it's me, because I'm here. Yeah, it's always humbling. I've gotten more used to. I used to be very nervous, teeing up with Roger Clemens standing beside you, playing in the same group. I used to be very, very nervous. Not as much anymore.
Or people on the ropes, not nervous.
You just take a deep breath and hang out. But I think the difference is when you're around these people long enough, you realize they're very talented, but they're very human. They just have some crazier stories to tell.
That's awesome. Where's been a destination you've played? You're like, that was my favorite spot that I played.
I just got back. I did a little road show with 2 of my buddies from the show. Used to be the host, Chris Harrison, and a really good buddy of mine named Wells Adams, who's the bartender in Paradise right now. and we had a little road show we did, and so we built a golf trip around it. So we started in Boston, played the International, which is an incredibly sneaky good spot. Then we did our show. Next day, played the Country Club in Brookline. Not sneaky, but incredible. And then we flew. Our next show was in New York, so we flew to New York. Woke up at the crack of dawn that morning and played Wingfoot, and then came back for our show that night. So it was like an epic trip. I would say
combo.
Wingfoot would be. All of them were amazing. I don't want to. It's hard to even say. Like, it's hard to even compare these, but I would say Wingfoot stood out in terms of just the makeup of the course, the shape of the course, the playability of the course. I can see it could have held a U.S. Open 2 days later, and this was just midsummer. I mean, it had no problem being ready.
Yeah, it's incredible. What a package of courses. Jeez.
I know. I'm very lucky.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's beautiful. We love it because it is something special, right? Like, golf is this beautiful thing that creation is a big part of. Yeah, Alistair McKenzie can make an amazing track and challenge you and do all these things, but you really look at the rolling landscape of it all, and it's such a draw. Like, standing in the opening tee of a certain course, you're like, this is just, again, you say, how did I end up here? This is kind of wild. Yeah. And I've had a few of those moments in my day, but it's pretty cool to hear somebody else say theirs too. That's awesome.
Yeah, I would say, there's two that, I mean, I'm a big fan of playing on the water, other than the wind usually, but like Whistling Straits and Pebble have given me that, like, where you just want to stand and gaze.
Yeah.
Those have given me those moments of like, how in the world?
I saw you played at Bandon too. Did it give that similar feel?
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah, I was going to say Bandon definitely would be up. I mean, Bandon's kind of one of those times too where it's sensory overload because it's also beautiful.
Yeah.
And you play it, usually playing 36 a day if you get there. And so it's like great hole after great hole after great hole after beautiful view after beautiful view. There's a moment at Bandon, and we were playing Bandon Dunes. And we're walking, I forget what hole it is now, but we're walking along, and it's the one that drops off to the beach below, or the ocean below. And we're walking off. My buddy is to my left, and the drop off is to my left. And there is this like eagle flying like right at his head level, but over the beach because it's such a long drop. And it just like floated alongside of us the whole hole. I'll never forget that. It's just like, goodness. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Ben, you talk about the spots that you've been in, whether it's Bachelor or otherwise, being notable, being recognized. Do you feel like you've been able to kind of maintain a community where you can kind of be who you are, and has golf lent itself to that at all?
Oh, it definitely has. I mean, definitely. I think something, and this again is something I'm very proud of personally, and then very thankful for. Most of my friends today are middle school friends, high school friends. Now that friend group has grown, but those guys are still my go-tos. They're the ones that I call upon. And golf has obviously helped bring those people together. In fact, in just a few months, I started it last year, and I'm going to try to keep it up. We're bringing 40 of my buddies to Big Cedar for a golf trip. This is something I want to do annually or every other year to just get our friends back together. Some guys golf, some guys don't. Some guys are going to go there and fish. Some guys are going to go there and just hang out and ride along. But the guys that golf, it's such a good way to convince people to, hey, give 3 days of your life up. Let's all meet together in one location. Let's get to hang out, break bread together, and connect again. And so golf is my outlet to do that. There's only a few things in life, activity wise, that would be able to bring that many people together. And golf's a great way.
That's awesome. Would you, I guess when I'm thinking about kind of what you even just talked about with the who's of even middle school and high school friendships, two questions come to mind. How do I get invited to this Big Cedar trip? That's awesome. Number two is more important is, How do you continue to cultivate those relationships over that long amount of time? So many people can say, I have 3 friends in my life, especially men, right? They have
Yeah.
this, they think they have a really core group of friends, but really they're kind of on the outside. They don't have a long-term friendship. How have you guys been able to make that a consistent thing?
Yeah, it's not easy. And I don't even know if, your circle getting smaller when it comes to like intimacy and friendship is a bad thing.
Mm.
I have been made to, I'm an only child, and I think I have this inner desire to be involved and loved by my friends because I didn't have the siblings to necessarily do that for. And so that's always been a focus of mine. And I've always really loved my friends. I want to be around them, but life moves forward, right? Kids happen and jobs happen, and we spread across the country. And so I've had to be pretty intentional, especially as I've gotten older. And so I have a note in my phone, and actually this afternoon's the day. It has like 5 friends that I need to connect with. I'd probably just do a text and just say, "Hey, how's it going? Last time we talked, this is what was going on in your life." And it's also my wife and I have a rule in our house. We don't have many rules when it comes to us as a couple, but we have a rule that we've implemented that when we're talking about a memory or about life and a name gets brought up, we have to text that person right there. So like everything stops. We text them, "Hey, I was just talking about you. I was thinking about you. What's going on?" And that's helped, I think, just keep people connected and keep me connected to them, even if it's a touch point once every few months. At least is a touch point, and for some, that's more than they've talked to many people. So those are kind of, I think, some of the ways that that's helped. And I don't love social media. I'm not very good at it. I don't get on it very often. But I do enjoy the phone calls and the texts because a lot of my buddies, they don't do anything on social. So I think that's helped me also stay more intentional in getting with them in person because it's not like I can catch up with them through
Quick
Facebook
DM.
or Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Such a good point.
Yeah. Danny, if you're okay with me going here to the question,
Yeah.
you've mentioned all the places you've played and the golf you've been doing for a long time. Our favorite question here in the clubhouse really is, what's your favorite memory on a golf course that just doesn't include a golf club?
Well, I mean, I think the overarching one would be, this was a great example. This was the first year it happened at the tournament I was just at. There was this, a day where my dad's carrying my bag, my mom's walking along the ropes, and my wife and daughter are there also. And I think it's just looking around and being like, this is the coolest thing. This is a sport I'm familiar with, that I've done my whole life, that I have memories as a middle schooler playing and a high schooler, and then, an adult. And now I have this family here with me doing it. That would definitely one, but the one that really I think I brag about the most and I name drop the most is last year in Portland. Portland, Maine has a celebrity golf tournament. It's called Drive for Kids. It's great. About 40 celebrities come out. It's just celebrities, 3-day tournament, Stableford format. And one day I got paired with Roger Clemens and David Wells. And so my dad and I are playing with Roger Clemens and David Wells in a golf tournament. And they're amazing people. They're really nice to talk to. They're very kind to us. They didn't need to be. But they start sharing old Yankee stories from their locker room that nobody knows, that never made like air. And they're just talking amongst the two of them. My dad and I are right there in the fairways with them, listening to these like hilarious stories of the jokes they'd play in the locker room, or the way the Steinbrenners would, treat the players or whatever. And we're hearing it and listening. And my dad and I are like, this is spectacular. Like this is $1 million opportunity that we're getting because we just played golf with these two guys. And then my dad and I still talk about that. There's so many stories I would never share publicly. I would never, use to my advantage, but I will say they were wild. And the whole time my jaw was on the floor and I was trying not to say anything, because I wanted them to keep going and no, I didn't think I wasn't listening.
I love that. Yeah. That's awesome. I love it. I think I love the commonality between those two stories for you is the sense that you're connected with your dad, right? You get those chances and opportunities with your family, your people. I can tell you're a very connection matters to you, and loyal relationships are really important. And we know and we believe that the game of golf is beautiful, but it is beautiful when you get to play it with someone or enjoy it with people and have it be a part of it, because we are wired for community. We're wired to connect with people. Even if whether you have a sister and brother like I do, or you're an only child like you, we're wired to connect to people. And so we always want to challenge, men in particular, anybody who's plays in this game. When you have a chance to, a solo round's fun. It is a good time. So it's quiet, peaceful. But when you have a chance to spend 4 hours with someone, like, use that time well and enjoy it. And I like what you do is where you have this thing you've talked a few times in your story. You've looked up and acknowledged, and you were aware of what the moment was. And I think we forget about that, right? We're stuck in a shot, or we're stuck in what happened or what we need to get out of, but really just maybe get to the end of the green. And I was at Stream Song this last week, and I remember I think it might've been 16, and got to the green, and I just turned around. And I wanted to see where we just came from. It was it's a thing we never do often. Look back and say, just where
go
we
to the
came
next
from.
hole.
It was so beautiful. Look back and go, wow, we just came across that. That's crazy. Yeah. So it's a beautiful thing you're doing, man. And we're thankful that you're even sharing the stories of bachelordom. And I'm glad it worked out for the way it did, where you now have an amazing wife who's never seen that show, and a little girl who's almost won. Is that right?
Almost won.
Awesome.
A week away.
Wow. That's amazing. That's
awesome. To add to what you're just saying,
please.
I have always dealt with nerves on the course, especially in these events. And I asked one of the LPGA pros a few years ago, I said, how do you deal with it? It's different for them. They have the rhythm of playing them every week, but they still get nervous. And she said, and this is one of the reasons why I love to walk. I prefer to walk the fairways. She says, no, when I walk, I just start looking for the birds and the trees. And that's what I do to calm myself down. I just start looking around and noticing the birds and trees. And it was something my grandpa did, who passed away at 96. I remember him, in his last few years of life, sitting in his chair in his driveway watching, and he could tell me the day that the pine tree was, blooming, or the hawk's nest, and how quickly they were getting it built. And it's a very similar concept to where if you walk slow enough and you look around, you can notice the small things and really start to soak it in. And it's a good lesson for life, I think. So I agree with you. Start looking around a little bit.
Yeah. And it's not just even in golf, right? It's everywhere. Like, don't be afraid to walk out right now and just have a look around, or in the room you're in, even just recognize where you are, and you were created, and you're this living, breathing bunch of DNA standing there and thriving. Like, it's such an opportunity for us to recognize kind of the greatest creator ever, and what's all around us. So it's beautiful.
Ben, I know you took in the Solheim Cup a couple of years ago at RTJ up in Virginia. One of our co-founders actually was one of the lead photographers at that. It looked like it was an unbelievable tournament to take in. And I know you and your dad took in the Masters in 18. Maybe we'll get you on a follow-up, but you have too many stories to share.
Yeah, that was a lot of tears, the Masters. A lot of childhoods growing up, and then being there, and you're just overwhelmed with the goodness. The Solheim Cup and that course, spectacular. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm a big fan of the LPGA. I learn a lot from them and their swings. But then I think there is just a lot of great competition available. And something I think it's very exciting to the opportunities that the LPGA presents when it comes to the game of golf. So yeah, that was really cool too.
That's awesome.
They're so accurate. It's infuriating sometimes.
Yeah. It's wild to see them hit a hybrid to 5 feet and make it look like they're hitting a 9-iron. It's something.
It's Nelly Corda. If I could grow up and have a good swing, it would look just like that swing.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I saw it this week. Let me tell you, it's good.
That's awesome. Well, good. Ben, we thank you for being here. If people wanted to find out more about Generous or anything else that you have, how can they find out more about it, or where do they go?
Yeah, definitely. Generouscoffee.com is the best place. We do retail and wholesale. So you can get it for your house. You can get it for your local coffee shop, whatever you want. And then I'm most active on Instagram at Higgins.ben. That's probably where I stay the most active, even though it's not like extremely active.
Yeah.
But it's where you'll see the big life updates.
That's cool. And you have anything coming up? You mentioned with iHeart, with the Faith Division. Are you doing anything with that specifically that we can keep our eyes out for or ears?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You'll see the announcements coming out. And I would say it's going to be, again, on my social media, I'll be promoting it. I would love for people to listen to it. You know, my life has been one that God has very clearly intervened in, and a few moments where I feel like God has directly rocked my world in the best of ways. And so this whole concept is to be the bridge, to take this life of, you know, a dating show and this life now in for purpose business, and the underlying, you know, story through it is that, you know, Jesus is king, and that he's loved me through it all, and try to be the bridge to bring it all together. That's what this whole thing is about. And I would love for people to listen if they are at all intrigued by that. And we'll be doing some live events too. So that'll be really fun.
Maybe
also, Alone in Plain Sight, my book, you can read kind of about a lot of things we talked about today. And Alone in Plain Sight, it's a book written that I wrote with the hope that when somebody closes it, they just feel less alone. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll push that. That's awesome. Yeah, I encourage everyone to find that book. I mean, first of all, the title just grabbed me. So, and I'm not very alone, but I just want to, I think that's a very powerful title. It's really good. So, man, Ben, we couldn't thank you enough for all that you've said today. I think there's some really powerful things I'm walking away with. I know everybody else hears some things and know that there's impact you've already made in fun ways, but also in just like really powerful things with the work that you're doing with your life, with your family, and the commitment that you have to this whole thing. So we appreciate your time and what you've spent with us. So again, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ben.
Thanks for doing what you're doing. God and golf together. It's a pretty good combination.
Well, all right, guys. That was episode 1 of season 4 with former Bachelor Ben Higgins. Unbelievable stories. Ryan, just a good guy to talk to.
I mean, I think I said it to him, but I felt like I've talked to him for a while. Like I've known him. I know I had a little Bachelor run for a while there early in the days, but I haven't watched that show in 10 years. But it's one of those things like, you think you only see people from the outside, but you realize they're actually down to earth, really great people. And I just love what he's doing, like using profit for good when it comes to supporting other nonprofits, or just being a good husband and father. I think admirable things. I just love this episode.
A lot of life happenings for that guy in the last couple of years, but he's clearly soaking in the moment. It's a good reminder just to kind of take the time to observe everything that's happening around you. I think that was one takeaway we both got, which was helpful. Yeah. But yeah, guys, thank you for listening to another episode. We got more coming your way. Really excited about this season. You guys can always find us at restorationclub.co, on Instagram, restoration_club. Keep following along. And Ryan, until next time, keep swinging.
Keep swinging.